So talk to me, man. You're back finally. It's got to be good. We haven't seen you in a minute, so it's got to feel pretty good to be back.
Yeah. I climbed out of my cave, reconstructed myself and doing some new things. Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit. You were supposed to be back in the fall, and you had to pull out of a fight. What was that process like, and were you stoked to get back in there, and then bummed when you had to pull out?
Yes. I have an interesting life, I have 3 baby mamas, black, white, and Mexican, and a girlfriend, and so much more. So my life is just crazy, and trying to get everything on task is very hard for me sometimes.
So trying to combine all that stuff with trying to get into a fist fight had been pretty taxing.
Yes. Man, I have child support issues with all of them. So, it's just so much things with the money, the aspects of this, and what are you doing? Are you working at this job or are you at this job? Should we charge you this or should we charge you this? Or what are you gonna?
Sure.
I was dealing with a lot of legal issues and stuff like that.
So given all that stuff, now that you're back this week, I mean, how much does that give you some satisfaction to have some normalcy? I mean, this has got to be the normal part of your life, right?
It's finally a little breath, that there's some light, ahead. As far as normal, I don't know if I have what you would call a normal life. I wouldn't say anything's normal for me. It is what it is.
But the fighting part, would you say that the fighting part is more normal than having to deal with the extracurricular stuff? Do you at least enjoy it more?
Fighting's fun, but fighting, I don't know, fighting is like, for me, it's, what's the word I want to say, I want to use? When I fight, I wear my feelings on my sleeves, And when you see me doing these different antics and stuff, I'm trying to have fun with it. And a lot of people take it the wrong way. It's just fun. I'm just out there to, entertain.
You're in a situation that you haven't been used to before. You need to rebound from a couple losses. You've had injuries as well. Talk to me about that process and sort of the mental part of the fight game, needing to move on from things like that in the cage.
Man, it's those are a whole other animals, when it comes to dealing with injuries. As you get a little older, your body starts to have these different tendencies, to get injured and stuff like that. It's been hard, dealing with all the stuff, the layoff, the comeback. I'm just here to do what I got to do. I climb out of my cave, I go to work, and I come back, and I go back to the cave, That's it.
How was the climb out of the cave process for this one? And everything felt good? Was this a normal training camp? Injury-free?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. You have your little bangs and bangs. I think every fighter goes in somewhat injured, We have all these bangs and bruises that you've acquired through the training camp. So
you obviously had a fantastic run leading up to the 2 losses. Obviously, you can't get 8 more wins in one fight. So is it just a matter of taking it one fight at a time, or do you look big picture at a situation like this and say, this is the first one on my way to another 8 in a row and getting right back into contention?
That's a great question. I think that for me, it's just dealing with, like you said, one fight at a time. I really just try to express myself when I'm out there, really show art, make great fights, and that's my main goal. And I've always been aspiring to, is having great fights, and sometimes it's cost me, like the last fight, came in trying to give everybody a knockout, and sometimes it'll cost you.
Sure. Break down this fight for us a little bit. I mean, what did you think when they called you with a name like that, and what does he bring to the table? It seems pretty obvious what he brings to the table, but what did you think when they gave you that name?
To be honest, they're just the names. They're just names. I really don't pay too much attention. I don't get to pick this guy or that guy, or she comes up and that's the guy I need to fight. I learn his tool set and what I need to do to be aware of, and that's about it.
What do you bring to the table that he maybe isn't prepared for?
Creativity.
Yeah.
My style's going to be very unique and hard to adapt to.
In an ideal world, given you haven't had a win in a few minutes and some of the problems you talked about earlier, what kind of finish do you need to have on Saturday night to be satisfied with yourself?
To be satisfied with myself, I just have to make sure that the crowd loves it. You know, that's what I'm satisfied as long as I please my crowd. You know, I please my owners, Dana White. You know, those Sean Shelby. When they're pleased, then I can sleep at night. You know, as long as everybody's happy. That's the only thing that's important to me is just throwing good fights, and that's what the customer will keep coming back for.